Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous Sunday. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, today we are going to create 4 cards. We're using the cut-aparts in the Photoplay Papers Lucky Cat 12x12 collection. So much fun. I just love all the patterns in here. I'm also going to use the epoxy dice paper that coordinates with the Lucky Cat. And then I'm also going to be using the epoxy shapes. We're going to add a little bit of extra to our card using these two. So we're going to jump in and pick out some pattern papers. We're going to be, and I'm going to tell you the names because some of your favorite craft stores will sell these individually. This is the Lucky Cat's 12x12 sheet. I'll be using this. And then we're going to be using the front and back of the cherry blossoms. And again, these are 12x12 sheets. I just trimmed mine down. It's easier to fit on the camera. But we'll be using this. We'll also be using Good Fortune. And lastly, we'll be using the lanterns. I just love the colors of these. So pretty. The cut-aparts that we're going to be using today are the fortune cookie. So much fun. We're going to be using this pretty little geisha girl. This is so cute. And then I thought we would go with the flow. And then we're going to cut out this small piece that says Lucky with the cherry blossoms. Those are the 4 that we're going to use today for our cards. So I'll trim these out, trim down some pattern papers, and we'll jump in with our first project. Now I trimmed down some pattern papers. Now for all of my cards today, I'm adding a little bit of vellum. So for this card, I created 2 circles that we're actually going to layer together. So one's slightly smaller than the other. Okay, we can actually tack these together right now. We're just going to layer them together. Kind of reminds me of rice paper. So that's why I thought vellum would go really good with my cards today. Now I'm going to take this cut apart and I'm going to layer this right over, you see the circle in the middle? I'm going to layer this right over the circles, centering it on my vellum piece here. Now for the front of my card, I have 2 strips of pattern paper. And what we're going to do is just add some adhesive behind them. And we're going to tack these down, not all the way to the left and the right of my card base. I do want a little bit of white showing. Maybe 1/8 of an inch showing. We'll go ahead and add these. Lovely. And then I did put adhesive behind this panel. We're going to layer this right in the center. I have my measurements in the middle. I'm not worried about that because this is where our cut apart will fit perfectly in the middle and cover that up. Now before I add this, I do have a red eyelet. I'm going to add a little bit of texture with some red twine and also with a red eyelet. So I'm just going to punch a hole. This is the top left. We're going to add that eyelet. I threaded this through and then I put adhesive behind here. We're just going to tack this down. And then I'll tie a bow. Sometimes it's easier to tack this down first and then tie the bow. And there we go. Now we're going to take our epoxy dice paper. I want to add a little bit of shine to this inside image here. And so to do that, I'm going to take this cherry blossom here. And we're going to die cut this out. I'll just use the die that coordinates and I will run this through my die cut machine. And I'll be right back. Now I'm going to take one of my epoxy shapes and we will go ahead and layer this right over the top. So neat. And then I'll add some adhesive behind here. And I'm going to layer this right in the middle. We're going to add a little dimension and shine with this. So now we have a little bit of dimension to our cherry blossom center. And then I'm going to use my cherry blossom stickers and we are going to add some, we're going to kind of go around that centerpiece here. And then for finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some gems. We're going to add some small silver gems to the center of a few of these flowers here. So I have a little bit of shine on those flowers and in the center, and that will finish off card number 1. We're going to jump in to our next card. Next card, we're going to use the fortune cookie, and I'm actually going to use my scissors, and I'm going to trim away the yellow and red pattern in the back. We're going to make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to accent this with a piece of vellum that's just slightly bigger. So we'll just trim that away. And then I'm going to layer this on my vellum, which measures 3 by 4. We'll just use the tape runner and layer these. There we go. The stickers that I'm going to be using today is the one that says the fortune you seek is in another cookie. I think that's so cute. Using the fortune cookie, and then in our sticker sheet we have several small banners like this. I'm going to attach this to the fortune cookie banner that's sticking out so it looks like this one. I'm just going to layer it together. Okay, to make a custom fortune cookie. For my background, I have some of our lantern pattern paper. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to layer this on front of our card base. So tack these down. I trimmed a piece of our bamboo kind of style paper to 3 squares wide. So I'm not sure of the measurement, but I know it's 3 square patterns wide. We're going to go ahead and add some adhesive behind here. I'm going to tack this down about maybe a 1/2 of an inch from the right, and then we can trim off the leftover. And then I'm also going to use a piece of our blue pattern paper. I'm cutting it in half. This is 1 1/4 inches wide, and I cut it in half to kind of stretch it. This was a leftover piece, so I'm just going to layer this on the top here, and then I'll layer this piece on the bottom. So we're going to cover this section up. We're just kind of stretching that cardstock. I'm going to take this panel and we're going to add some foam tape behind here, and I'm going to layer it right in the center of my card. And then I have another red eyelet. I'm going to add to the very end of this little banner here. There's enough room for me to squeeze an eyelet on here, and if I can add a little extra texture with a metal eyelet, I think it's going to work out great. We will go ahead and secure that. And this is the sticker. So what I did was remove the tackiness with powder, and then it popped it up with some foam tape. I am going to add some red twine through here. And then I'll just remove the release paper, and we can add this. I'm going to replace this right over this little piece that says Yum Tasty. I'm going to just cover this up here, and then I'll tie a bow here. We're going to add this over the fortune cookie that's on here, but I'm making sure my banner is overlapping that banner. After we have this done, I'm going to bring in a few gems, and we'll just add a little extra dazzle, and that's all there is to that card. We're going to move along to card number 3. We're going to start by using our dice paper, and I'm going to cut out the koi fish. And you know, while I'm die cutting, I'm also going to cut out a button for our next card. So let's cut out, I'm going to cut out a button with this flower here. We're going to line this up. We're going to cut out both of these at the same time. I love that they have a button included, a button die included in these epoxy shapes and dies. You can customize and make custom buttons. Is always fun. Okay, we'll put this to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and take my epoxy shape, and we're going to layer it over the koi here. I'm going to save this one for our next card. Then we're going to layer this on the bottom of our card base. And my card bases today are, by the way, are side folding. All of these are Photoplay paper, Say It With Stamps, A2 card bases. We'll tack this down. I have a little overhanging. That's good to go. And then I have this piece of pattern paper. This is 3.5 inches wide by 4 3/4 inches tall. I'm going to layer this right in the center. This is the cut apart we're using for this card. And then I have a 3/4 inch tall strip of pattern paper. I'm going to add a piece of vellum that's 2 3/4 inches wide directly over the top here. Okay. Cover up my measurement. And we're going to layer this. Okay, then I'll take this pattern paper and we're going to cover up our measurements and our tape right over the top. I have a little overhanging, so we're just going to trim off that excess. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to fishtail the very bottom of this vellum. If I can get it even. There we go. So a little bit's overhanging on the bottom. I kind of like that look. Okay. I do want to add 2 eyelets to the left and the right here. What's nice is I have exactly 5 squares. So I know I can measure, so I know where to punch the holes and make them even. So now we have a banner. We're going to bring back our red twine and we're going to thread our banner and tie a bow with some red twine. I'm just going to go in and out here, tying a bow off to the left. Love the texture on this. I'm going to flip this over. We're going to pop it up with some foam tape, and I'm going to layer this right in the center of my card here. Okay, I did cut out a 1-inch circle with red cardstock, and what we're going to do is layer our epoxy shape right over that red circle. And then we're going to tack this down. We'll move that out of the way. I'll tack this down so it's overhanging a little bit on my banner. And then I have the koi fish that was in our sticker sheet. I popped it up with some foam tape. And then there's a koi on here, but we're going to cover this one up with our sticker. And then I have a sticker that's in our sticker sheet that says Still Waters Run Deep. I did pop this up with foam tape also, and we're going to layer this just above Go With The Flow on our little banner here. I love how clean this looks. Now I'm going to take some more gems and we're going to add a little sparkle here. Lovely. And that will finish that card. Now we're going to move along to our next card. Okay, for my final card, I have a panel that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we're going to add this to the front of our card. It's going to leave me some border. And then I have the squared pattern paper. I am going to fishtail the end of this. And then I have, this is a 2 square wide piece of pattern paper. And then this here is a 3/4 inch wide pattern paper. We're going to fishtail this. And then I have a piece of vellum that is 1 inch that we're going to fishtail. We're going to add this one to the right. We cut the blossom out for this card, and we are going to make a button out of this. And it's so easy to do. You just line up the 2 holes that are in the epoxy shape with the 2 holes that are on our die cut button, and you have an instant button. I'm going to thread it with some more red twine. Now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put a foam square behind here, and then I'm going to layer this just at the top of all of those banners. Okay, and for my card today we're using this cut apart. So cute. I am going to round the corners at the very top, just using my corner rounder. And then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim off some from the bottom here towards the top. I do want to see some of the banners hanging out here. So we'll tack this down. And then I have the cute little geisha. So sweet. We're going to layer her directly over the umbrella she's holding on our cut apart. Give her a little dimension here. And then I have the sticker in our sticker sheet that says enjoy every moment. I'm going to add this right across the top here. Okay, and then I also lowered my button just so it's overhanging here just a little bit. Now we're going to add a few gems to this card as well. There we have a little sparkle there. And that finishes off that card. So let's take a look at all 4 cards that we made today using the Photoplay paper Lucky Cat 12 by 12 collection. Such a fun collection. I hope you enjoyed my projects. Some quick and easy cards using cut aparts. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.